As Subaru's best-selling model, the Forester is a very important addition within Subaru's North American lineups. And for 2022, the company is making some small changes to the Forester in order to keep it competitive. I'm here just outside of Hartford, Connecticut with not just any old Forester. This happens to be the 2022 Forester Wilderness. That's right, the off-road package that we really liked on the Outback is now available on the Forester. So let's take a first look. Now, when Subaru introduced the Outback Wilderness, it was designed to take the Subaru off-roading image a little bit further with enthusiasts, especially those of you who like to go a little bit further off the campground. Wilderness isn't supposed to mean Jeep-ready off-roadiness. However, on the Outback Wilderness, it was a really nice addition. So as you can see, for the Forester Wilderness, they've basically given us the same treatment, the same upgrades, but let's go ahead and give you guys a walk around of the styling changes that Subaru has made to the Forester this year. Now, looking at the front end, you can see the Forester, the refreshed Forester, has a new look and it's got a slightly revised grille. However, this Wilderness model takes it a step further, of course, in this geyser blue exterior color. This color, as you guys know, was developed when Subaru basically crossed their World Rally Blue with their Autumn Green Metallic. I think it's a really beautiful color choice, or color, and as you can see with the Wilderness package, you get all the prerequisite cladding. You have additional cladding here at the front bumper. The headlights here have been slightly tweaked. You have these steering adaptive full LED headlights, although the turn signal, as you can see, is an incandescent design. The grille also has kind of that piano black trim, and you also have this hood graphic here that's supposed to reduce glare when you guys are off-roading if the sun decides to reflect back at the hood. And you can see, just like the Outback Wilderness, you get these LED fog lights with these 6 individual LEDs. They just kind of give it more of a rugged look. And just like the Outback as well, the ground clearance of the vehicle has been raised by about 0.5 inches to 9.2, and you also have skid plates as standard. Dealer accessories will give you even more underbody protection for the transmission and the fuel tank. Now, looking under the hood, I can't open the hood of this particular one here. However, Subaru says it's going to continue to use the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated direct injection 4-cylinder with an updated CVT with revised ratios, still making 182 horsepower. So this is going to be less expensive than the Outback because it doesn't have the turbo engine that you get in the Outback. So that's one of the reasons why you'd want to pick the Outback over this model. Now, you can see on the Wilderness version, you got these upgraded wheels. These are 17-inch wheel wrapped in Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain look tires. As I mentioned earlier, the ground clearance is at 9.2 inches on this model. It's a little bit less versus the Outback, but Subaru says it's going to be just as capable when you guys decide to take this thing off-road. Now, just like the other Wilderness models, you get the copper accents for important areas. You can see the roof rails have been upgraded to handle up to 800 pounds of static weight. So you can put a tent up there and carry up to 2 or 3 people up there depending on the weight limits. And you can see here the Wilderness badge shows off that you've got something a little bit special. You have these black mirrors, and all Forester Wilderness models will come standard with that sunroof over there, which is an upgrade over the Outback. You have to pay extra for the sunroof. Looking at the rear of the vehicle, you can see the design hasn't really changed, although there is a bigger black plastic area here. You still have these interesting C-shaped taillights. They're an LED combination with an incandescent bulb over there. And overall, you can see a little bit more cladding. And this vehicle definitely doesn't look quite as high as the Outback Wilderness, but it's certainly a really nice addition. When you open up the cargo area, this power liftgate, Subaru says, is optional. It's part of an $1,800 package, but you can see here cargo space is very, very generous. There are a couple of upgrades in here with the inside. While I'm showing you guys that the headliner has been changed to black. You have some nice underfloor or under storage over there, and you have a full-size spare, which is what you expect. And just like on the Outback, you got this LED light over here, which helps kind of provide light if you're loading any items back here in the dark. Let me show you guys the interior really quickly of the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. You can see the interior gets the same gray StarTex material that we first saw on the Outback. This material is waterproof, water resistant. You do get heated seats, but you can't get cooled seats. Subaru doesn't offer cooled seats on any Forester, at least not on the refresh model. Now you can see this particular one here has the same copper accents that you get on the outside. That's included when you guys go for the Wilderness trim. You get the copper accents on the steering wheel, on the shifter, on the seats, which look really nice, and on the dashboard. And you can see the interior hasn't really changed much. Subaru is also really proud of the fact that they put in these all-weather floor mats, which were designed internally with this really cool graphic. You also get the alloy sport pedals to give you a little bit more of a more rugged, sporty off-road adventure theme when you get into this cabin. Now, stepping inside, you definitely can feel the increased ground clearance with this car. And my particular tester here has the Harman Kardon stereo that is included with this optional package that gives you the GPS. Shutting the door, you can see the instrument panel also is slightly different. Subaru did give you a little bit of a red look to the copper look to the gauges. You have that wilderness badge there in the tack that shows you exactly what you ended up getting. This particular one here also has the Subaru Starlink infotainment system. This is just the 8-inch display. You can't get the larger 11.9-inch display like you can in the Outback, so that's another reason why the Outback is a little bit more expensive. You get a little bit updated technology in the vehicle. You can see the dash hasn't really changed. This is still soft touch injection molded plastic. Subaru did update their Eyesight technology in this vehicle. Obviously, they had to update it so it would work with the increased ground clearance flawlessly, but they also added a better steering assist in this vehicle, and it also still has the driver monitor feature to let you know when you're not paying attention out on the road. You can see the seats are pretty comfortable and supportive, just like in the Outback Wilderness. I actually drove that vehicle for an extended period of time. I really liked it. The X mode system in this vehicle also has been upgraded. It'll now work at speeds higher than 25 miles an hour, and Subaru says this is going to be essentially the best all-wheel drive system you can find in their lineup, right up there, of course, with the Outback Wilderness. Now, over here you can see the center console, pretty good size. This doesn't slide forward, but it's nice and padded. And then you can see here the sunroof. For some reason, the sunroof is not tinted, but they do give you this nice shade. It's a bigger sunroof, not quite a full panel roof, but it goes really well, of course, with the black headliner. In here, you can see there's also standard LED lighting, which is nice. So overall, the cabin is definitely not as high quality luxury as the Touring. This model is going to actually slot below the Touring grade, but it's definitely a nice upgrade. And if you like the copper accents, it's all carried over here on the inside. Let's take a look at the back seat really quick. Now, just like the regular Forester, you have a copious amount of space back here. The seats also, as you can see, they do recline slightly, or they also fold completely flat to give you a nice flat load floor area. In terms of legroom back here, this is among the highest in the segment. I don't remember the actual figures right now at the moment, but you can see just by looking at it, this will easily accommodate child seats back here or full-size adults. Let me get back here to show you guys the space. Now, just like the front, you get those all-weather mats, which is great when it's pouring rain outside and there's mud everywhere. And then when I shut the door, you can see there are rear seat air vents back here. No heated rear seats. That's something you get in the Outback Wilderness, but you do have 2 USB ports over here, and you have a nice little armrest here that folds down, and it gives you 2 cup holders. So as I stand here getting rained on, I want to give you guys my final thoughts on the Forester Wilderness. First of all, this vehicle will be going on sale in November, so you're gonna have to wait a couple more months. And Subaru has already announced pricing. The Forester Wilderness will start at about $32,820 plus their destination charge. From there on, you can basically add an $1,800 package that'll roll in the Harman Kardon stereo, the embedded GPS, the reverse automatic braking, and the power liftgate. All in, this vehicle should cost in around $37,000 $37,000 with destination. That makes the Forester Wilderness cheaper versus the Outback Wilderness by about $3,000 to $4,000. Remember, the biggest difference, obviously, aside the fact that this is a traditional SUV, is under the hood you have the standard 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, so significantly less power versus the Outback. However, this vehicle is smaller. It should be a little bit more fuel efficient as well. And because of the revised CVT, the acceleration shouldn't suffer. This vehicle will also be lighter. Now, the one thing I also forgot to mention is the new Forester has an upgraded tow rating. With the Wilderness package, this will tow a maximum of 3,000 pounds. So it's at the top of the segment. Remember, this competes with cars like the Toyota RAV4 Adventure, which should be towing a little bit less than this vehicle. But when it does go on sale in November, this should be a really interesting addition. And since Subaru says the Outback Wilderness is flying off dealer lots, I have no doubts that this vehicle will be doing the same when it goes on sale. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed my first look overview on the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.